everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing.
Well, TCR TJ is the Season 13 Golden Class Champion for Trinity Competitive Racing.
Oh, let's go, dude! Yes!
Jabbar on the podium! He's on it by a 10! Gentlemen, side by side through one. And Silent, and Seafreeze gets a half spin.
Let's fucking go!
Wheel bumping.
DRS enable, let's do it.
And Captain Blade battling it out for position. Captain Blade.
Ickle, what the?
Then McChicken goes around and he also makes
Rewind down the front straight, oh my god.
I gotta check the heart rate.
Why do we do this? Because of nights like this.
Yo, welcome everybody to TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing, and welcome to episode number 43 of the Racing Debrief, TCR's podcast, where we combine the world of e-racing, sim racing, and TCR with real-life motorsports and Formula One. A true racing enthusiast listen. We're back for the new year. Happy New Year all. Your usual host, Seafreeze, alongside my usual co-commentator and co-person in the podcast booth, Mr. Camden Luca. Welcome, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry late Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa to all of the people who celebrate. We're back. Yeah. Brand new year, brand new season. We're going to go over season 19. A lot of stuff to go over with. It's gonna be a really good season, you guys. I'm telling you, we got a lot to talk about with it. So let's just dive right into it.
Yeah, and I know the last one we did was I would say probably a couple months ago. Although we've just recently put out another short. But with the new year, the new season about to start, and just around over a week, it's a good time to bring the usual preseason episode back. So this focus will be mainly on TCR season 19 preview. I think we'll start with the schedule. We opted for a little shorter of a schedule, 12 rounds. So I believe it's 2 rounds shorter than last season, right?
Yeah, 2 rounds shorter. We're going from 14 down to 12.
Yeah, and we're still getting 2 off weeks in between, so it'll be, I believe, 4 rounds off week, 4 rounds off week, and then the remaining 4, which I kind of like that for a season. And honestly, I think 12 races is like the perfect number to keep drivers, attention for the entirety of the season. Any longer and any shorter, just it's like either too quick or a little bit too long, where other factors start to replicate as far as do all the drivers show up every single week, or by like round 17 or 16 it's kind of a blowout in the championship. So 12 I think is a perfect round. We're starting a little bit earlier, so because we don't know when next game will come out, but it tends to be coming and getting released earlier and earlier. So hopefully we'll be done by season 19 before the next game comes out, which would be, was it F125 now?
F125. Yeah, we're getting old, Seafreeze.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even, it's really getting scary now because let me just give a little bit of an anniversary announcement. This January is pretty much when we started our first season, way back when, and that was in January of 2017. But it was on the 2016 F1 game. So how many years is that?
That is 8 years.
8 years. So we've been doing this 8 years, a little bit longer if you count. We started TCR in 2016, but we didn't do our first race until 2017. So I believe it was like the last few months of 2016. We were just prepping, getting recruiting, getting everything ready and then the first season was in January, and I don't remember the exact first date, but it is very close. Like it was in January, early to mid-January. So it's pretty cool that we're still doing this 8 years. At least myself. There's a lot of people who've been around a long time. So just a little heads up and thank you for all the drivers returning, and also new drivers for season 19. We had a little bit of a resurgence on this season, so there's a lot of hype, kind of similar to like an old TCR season. I think we kind of went away for a few seasons as the games kind of declined, the attendance went down, we decreased to one roster, but I think this season is like the stepping stone for the next seasons to come. I think we kind of reached our bottom, and we're coming back up. I think TCR is going to be all right, Camden.
TCR is back. TCR is, I'm telling you, and look, I'm an optimist. I say this every season to where this is going to be a good season, but no, looking at the schedule, looking at who we have on the roster, and just the amount of things that we've tried the last couple of seasons that we know is going to work this season, specifically with the schedule, and we'll talk about that in a second. There's a lot of stuff to be looking forward to, and really, this is a time when we need that because the previous season, season 18, could have gone better. Season 17 could have gone better, but no, we're in a good spot right now for sure.
Yeah, and I don't want to we'll go over last season's standings a little later on when we go over the roster and predictions, but I don't want to take anything away from what Remsley and B Tom did. As you can see them that's actually them in the background, and the Alpine and the Mercedes from one of the races, as well as the lights out graphic that you see on your screen. Um, Thanks for Rems for the pictures also, by the way. But yeah, a lot of cool things happening. Camden, if you want to go over the schedule and maybe point out any differences, from last season to this one, that'd be good.
Absolutely. Yeah. So January 21st, mark that on your calendar. It's not far from now. We're going to everyone's favorite track, Brazil, to start off the season.
And a little
Last time. Yeah, what's up?
In season one, that was the first round of the championship as well. So, little
Yeah.
throwback to the first season, 8 years.
Celebrating the 8-year anniversary, right?
Yeah.
After that is our first sprint race in Bahrain. Bahrain's returning for the first time since, I think, season 17? Might be season 16, but I think it's season 17 that Bahrain is coming back. Speaking of the Middle East, Azerbaijan is back. And if you if you know TCR's history, you know that is the race where shit hits the fan, basically. I don't know why, but that track has always been extremely chaotic in TCR. So, yeah, mark that one on your calendar if you're looking for a race to sit back with your popcorn bowl and a soda. Yeah, that's always a good race. Second season in a row that we have the mystery race, round 4. I'm really looking forward to this. Everyone last season seemed to look forward to this. It really gives an incentive for people to just show up and have fun, even the field a little bit more. That one's going to be good. And then to wrap up the first half of the season, then I'll let you get into maybe just your thoughts on this. Belgium, and then the TCR Grand Prix at Britain, which, Freeze, I know you approve of that. That's like your bread and butter right there, right?
Yeah, and that's a pretty good first, half the season. We get an off week in there as well between rounds 4 and 5. But to start back at round 1 at Brazil, all those years ago, and Bahrain, I believe, followed up to round 2 back in season 1 as well. So it's kind of a cool little replicants of back to season 1. Which had actually 11 rounds in the championship, the shortest rounds per season. The mystery race, I love the mystery race. It's been an idea for many seasons, and we just brought it back for the first time. Last season we actually brought it to fruition into the schedule, and I liked it. And we'll do it again early in the season. You get a nice favorite Belgium track. Azerbaijan is, we have to put a street circuit on there, right? And I think we alternated seasons. I don't think it was there last season.
It was not.
So yeah, it's kind of like get swapped in and out with Singapore type of deal. So you need a street circuit there, and then the TCR Grand Prix comes back. I believe it's the 10th seasonal event that we do. So it's a special event. It wasn't actually going to come back this season, but we
Oh,
did.
really?
Yeah, I was going to pull it off because you need a full grid for the TCR Grand Prix. The last few seasons we didn't have that. We only had less than because to run that customized qualifying grid, 20 drivers works perfectly because you do 3 rounds, 5 drivers get eliminated the first round, then the next, and then the final one, just like regular Q1, Q2, Q3. But we do it with one-shot qualifying. We do it with 5 lappers instead. So it's like mini races inside the big race, extra points on the line. That is one that is kind of getting circled on my calendar as far as possible ones to reserve in. Um,
Oh,
and I'm going to
okay.
announce it. I think I might submit my entry into the TCR Grand Prix at Britain. And it's also a day before Seafreeze's birthday, so you might as
That's
well
not a
you might
coincidence.
as well give
That was
the
done on purpose.
no, actually not. No. Um, we always run. Actually, if you look, Britain is always either round 5 or round 6, and it's been round 6 for probably I don't know last 5 years.
Yeah,
It's always
for
slotted in.
forever,
Yeah,
basically.
it's always slotted in that time slot. It's kind of a must on the calendar. And it's a good. I think it's the second time we're running the TCR Grand Prix at Britain, which is usually what we do. We run it usually twice or a couple times. Last season, did we run the TCR Grand Prix?
I believe so.
And what track was that? I believe it was Britain as well.
Um,
Or did we not run it? I'm not sure if we
yeah, no,
canceled it.
I'm pretty sure we ran it. Um,
Yeah.
we ran it at Austria last season.
Oh, okay.
And actually, last season was the 10th annual TCR Grand Prix. So this will be the 11th.
Oh, really? Oh, so I gotta update
Mhm.
that then.
Yep.
Although, you know what? I think one season we did miss out, so I gotta double check and
Okay.
actually count it because I was wondering what that was, but
Yeah.
anywho, it's coming back, and it's a good way to end the first half of the season.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good halfway point too, because the first half of the season is stacked. Sprint race, mystery race, TCR Grand Prix. This is something that's really going to keep not just the drivers engaged, but for those who show up and watch every week. I mean, you have something to look forward to pretty much every week in the first half of the season. It's phenomenal.
And then, the second half, only has that one sprint race, as you'll go over it now. But I think, a lot of good tracks that kind of go to a multitude of different styles. And I think at that point is when you just want to lock in for the championship, right? I mean, the first half you have a couple events that'll kind of shake things up. And then the last half, you pretty much just let the drivers race for it, right? See how the first half goes, and then the rest is just go out there and win and just kind of do your regular league races.
Exactly. And there are quite a few tracks in the back half of the schedule that will let people do that. And it really will have a good chance of having the championship battle either bring out the worst in people or the best in people. Because round 7, we go to Imola. That track tends to be a weather track, tends to be a lot of rain at that track. So we could definitely see some things, shaken up in the points of that track. Round 8, I know you like this track, Sea Freeze. Japan.
Yeah.
We're going back to Suzuka, and really, we go there just about every season in TCR. And honestly, I think it should be on that short list of tracks that we go to every season. Because I mean, why, why not? Right? It's phenomenal. After that, round 9, Abu Dhabi tends to be kind of a crazy race, but if you look at the calendar, it is on April Fool's Day, and all I'm gonna say is, hopefully, we don't get any season 16 shenanigans going on. You know, we gotta keep the jokes off the track in that situation. So, around 10, Saudi Arabia. We're keeping things in the Middle East. That track's got a certain skill set. A lot of high speed corners, close to the wall. So really, these last few tracks really bring out the best in drivers. And then to close out the season, for the first time since I think season 15, we're going back to Portugal, and this will be a sprint race. And then Australia makes a return for the first time since season 18 to close out the season. What are we thinking about that, Seafreeze?
Yeah, I mean, a good mixture of good tracks. I think Imola's a really technical track. I think it's probably the hardest track for me on the schedule. Um, just so technical with the track limits as well. It might be coming off the actual F1 season, so we might not have that many seasons left with it unless it comes back as a track like Portugal. It's kind of like a free DLC track where it's not on the actual calendar, but it's still on the game cycle, which is cool that we still get to race Portugal. The elevation change, again, another technical track. To do a sprint race at Portugal, which we usually haven't done, right? I mean, so it's good for the penultimate round. Ending in Australia, I think, is a good way to do it. And just a regular race to finish the season. I think last season we did sprint races, or maybe it was the previous season we did sprint races to start and finish. And I think when it comes down to it, maybe just putting it the regular way, it almost creates its own hype in itself, right? So the sprint races on round 2 and the second to last race gives it excitement there, and you're always going to have excitement for round 1 and the finale, especially if a championship decider goes down to it, right? So I think putting those sprints in those positions really help the schedule balance, give those 2 extra races a little time to breathe, and have that own excitement for that round. But overall, it's good. With 12 rounds, you're going to miss a lot of good ones, right? So the only things that we don't see on this schedule that we've had on previous schedules is the 100% race, as well as the full qualifying event that we usually do at Monaco. We didn't opt to bring those back. Typically, you do need, or it'd be nice to have, a full roster for those events. And in the last few seasons that we did run those events, we didn't quite get the full roster that we needed on those days. So therefore, it didn't really make sense to run a 100% race if we don't have a full roster, or it didn't make sense to run a full qualifying event when only 13 or 14 people show. The first round or two doesn't really mean as much as if you did have 20 drivers, right? So now, could those 2 events come back, or maybe do we do that as during the off season or off weeks or all-star race? We also didn't mention, how do we bring that back, right? So for those different events that are missing, doesn't mean they're gone forever, but let's try to reinvent the wheel, try to rotate it when it makes sense, right? So I'm sure those events will come back at some point, either on an official calendar or unofficial off-season event. But nonetheless, I'm excited. I mean, this is going to be a
Me
great
too.
season. This is a good schedule, and we go to a bunch of tracks, and yeah, there's a lot that I look forward
Yeah.
to. So it's good.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think with this schedule, you really, there's something for everybody, right? Some of the most favorite tracks on the schedule. You got Britain, you got Brazil, you have high-speed tracks like Saudi Arabia in there, Japan. And really, I think this is almost a culmination of the experimental stuff we've done the last couple seasons, because we've been on and off with the 100% race. We've been on and off with the All-Star. This season, we're saying, all right, we're going to axe that out for the mystery race. We're going to insert that. We're going to go and take the sprints and we're going to put them, we're not going to bookend them at either the start or the end of the season. We're going to kind of put them in lame duck rounds, because, round 11, not the most exciting round on the schedule, right? So, yeah,
Right.
get your popcorn, get your drinks. Just get them now. I know we don't start till January 21st, but just, cook up the popcorn now because you're going to need a lot of it.
Yeah, and I think we should go over the roster to know who will be there, when we go through the season, because I think when you see the schedule and then you see this roster, this full roster, there's definitely a lot of battles you kind of pick out. And every season's different, right? It's always, I like to call it, from one season to the next, it's always like an evolution of drivers, right? You're never always going to have all the best drivers. They come in and they come come in and out as whenever they're ready to compete, or maybe they need to take some time off. So we have a good combination, of drivers. So I'm going to put them up on the screen. We'll go over, and then maybe after we reveal the roster, we could look at how they did last season.
Yeah, and this roster right here, for you TCR regulars, you're going to look at this and be like, oh, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know that guy. That guy hasn't raced in 10 years. I know that guy, I'm friends with that guy. Like, this is really a family reunion of TCR, and lots of big names, lots of characters.
Yep. Now, this is just the reference of the roster in the Discord, so it's just their ats in Discord, and the flags aren't fully filled out. But we didn't have a graphic ready, but I think this will do, as it is still changing, right? I think one driver here is not actually on the roster due to time zone difference. So that'd be, I believe it's Milano in the RB. Will be getting replaced by a driver. So we don't actually know who will be there. And like I said, every season before we look at the roster, the champion or a heavy hitter might not even be on the grid as we speak, right? So it's cool who comes in round 1 or round 2 or round 3 that might come as a new driver, right? Or we have a few new drivers already, so it's cool to look to see what they'll do, because we've never seen them before. So, and we got a lot of returning drivers as well as last season's champion, and I think that'd be a good place to start, Camden.
Yeah. First team that you see at the top, and this is going to be one of the heavy hitters, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We'll get to predictions in a second, but I got to point out B-Tom and GT Lion. All right, that's like putting John Cena and The Rock on a team together. That's going to be a scary lineup. That's all I'm going to say.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What is B-Tom? How many championships does he got now?
I don't know if you want to hear this, Freeze,
I
but
know.
he has he's doubled your championship.
I don't like to hear that.
He's at 6 championships, but he could, he likes Lewis Hamilton. He could tie Lewis Hamilton in TCR championships this season. That's on the table.
Yeah, and it'd be, one more extension on, TCR champions, extending that record. He didn't get the Constructors championship of last season, but GT did, so he's bringing that to the table. He is no longer with Remsley. He opted for reserve driver, which I was a little shocked about. I thought he was ready to go again. He had a strong second. We'll go over the standings, but I'm surprised he didn't make the return. But GT teaming up with B-Tom at the McLaren, that's a good way to start it.
Absolutely. Right below that, another heavy hitter based on TCR history, Silent Welcome back to the TCR grid. This time in the Alpine. I don't think I've ever seen him
Yeah.
in an Alpine before, and same with professional.
Yeah.
Both of those guys have plenty of wins in TCR, and if their pace is still what it was a couple seasons ago when they were racing full time, I'm telling you, they'll be right up there competing for the constructors and maybe even drivers' championship. You know, the two of them have both competed for drivers' championships in the past, and um, we say this every year. It really depends on how much time you put in, and I don't know how much time they've put in recently, but they'll be quick for sure.
Absolutely, and they've teamed before, and I like the fact that they're going into the Alpine, and that's the team that won the constructors of last season, right? But it's two new drivers, so could they beat and could they win in the Alpine and get a constructors with a different lineup? And it's funny that GT goes to the rival team of McLaren and teams up with B-Tom, and he almost wants to beat his old team. So I think you're going to see the McLaren and the Alpines all season long, because those four drivers, I would say, are all in the contention for drivers and also, for the constructors.
Yeah, and real quick, I don't want to bring back any certain memories, but there's between those two teams, those drivers had a pretty interesting battle for drivers and constructors. I remember back in season 15. So, yeah, no, it'll be competitive for sure between those guys. But let's go on down to the Sauber. We have an interesting lineup in this car. I'm very intrigued by seeing Speedy and J&B in this car. Speedy, he's gotten better every season that he's been in this league. When he started out, that was really when COVID distancing started, because you just wanted to stay 6 feet away from his car, if you wanted to stay in the race. But Speedy, he's grown as a driver since then, and he'll be good. He'll be up there competing. And J&B, man, I'm getting season 15 once again. Down in the silver class, he and I competed for the championship, and he won more races than I did in that season. So he'll be quick.
Yeah, and it's cool too to see him come back with kind of more of a veteran driver now in Speedy, right? I mean, I know we always like to, tell him jokes about him and kind of pick on him a little bit, but you always have that one driver, right?
I think that's
and he's not
something
the only
he's
one.
really grown from.
Yeah.
No, I
Wait
raced
till you
against
get to
him
the
last
Haas team.
season.
I mean, when you get to the Haas
Speedy, congratulations!
Right.
Your
up.
throne has been passed. No, Speedy, he was actually very consistent last year, and he's a very solid driver.
Yeah.
I went toe to toe with him in a lot of races last season. He's seriously, he's not one to mess with on the track.
And he's got some moments, but I think he's cleaned it up a lot, and I think his pace has gotten better, and I think he's going to bring that experience now over some of the new drivers that we might see. So, I like that, and a good lineup too. J&B was super quick in the silver class, and could we kind of pencil him in for, like, all right, he's returning, but at what are we getting out of him, right? Are we getting the J&B that was competing for wins in the silver class back then? If we are, I mean, we're getting a solid driver, but I would assume he'd be a little bit more mature. He's a younger driver. I don't know how old, but he was younger when he was winning.
Very young.
So, what type of rig does he have? What type of how often has he been racing, right? Is he going to be committed, right? Because he could be a sneaky pick for this season. And I know Speedy is a team player, right? He's going to do the team he's going to do the team games. Like, he's done it in the past. You've witnessed it, right? You went with the constructors and you raced Speedy, and with Speedy and J&B also kind of played some games with him, and he was teamed with his old pops, right?
Right.
So that's a fun lineup, and in the Kick Sauber, that neon green, I think you're always going to see him. You're going to see both of them out on track, and they might be a sleeper pick they might, make some noise up with the McLarens and Alpines. So
I
that's a
think
fun
it's
team.
really interesting. I'm telling you, JMV kind of just snuck back into the play this season. He kind of quietly signed up. I haven't really heard from him much. That might tell you something, Seafreeze. Usually the ones who do that, they've got something rolled up their sleeve that they're ready to pull out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be good. Next up, the Red Bull team. Returning driver Joby. This is the fourth season,
I believe.
either third or fourth. Yeah, Joby's been around a while now, and he's always showing up every week. I'm telling you, he can definitely pull some points up for Red Bull, depending on just like how much he shows up and how much he gets the finishes that Red Bull will need. Because new driver Jackson will be teaming with him. I've seen in the Discord he's definitely made a presence.
Yeah,
Unlike
he has.
JNV, he's talking up a game, Seafreeze.
Yeah, I like this. This is kind of like
He's gonna have to own it though.
right, and this is what's
Can he
interesting.
do that?
Right,
That's the
because
question.
if he's talking all this game and he shows up and finishes 10th, I mean, we'll be talking about it in episode 44, right?
Yeah,
But
so Jackson.
I love the shit talking because
Me too.
to me, when I was back racing, that's a part of the game, right? That's a part of league racing. There's always one guy that's gonna talk a big game, and I like that from him. As soon as he entered, I was like, oh, all right. He might be
Yeah.
quick. He might be one to circle. And you know what, um, Joby, when he first entered, obviously wasn't the quickest driver we had. He joined into silver class at the time, was our entry level entry level class. But he's been improving, and I believe he can get some points, and back up Jackson when needed. And if he really is so quick, Jackson could help Joby out, and they could be a good team, and they're in a good car with Red Bull, so
Yeah.
we'll see what they could do. It's an interesting pairing that could actually really work, depending on how good Jackson is, and can Joby improve, as this is the second season on this game cycle, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I think we're gonna see Joby improve from what I saw at the end of last season. The consistency hasn't been there from him. And consistency is one of the hardest parts of racing, right? I think you're going to see improvements from him just from what I saw last season. To leave this off, though, I do have some intel from Kluka about Jackson's pace. So I'll just leave it at that. Down to the Mercedes. This is an interesting lineup. I don't think I've ever seen Charles race in. Well, no, he was in a Mercedes-based car, but I don't think I've ever seen him in a Mercedes. And that's saying something, because this dude might be the Fernando Alonso of TCR. I'm telling you, I've seen him in a Haas, I've seen him in a McLaren, I've seen him in the Aston.
Oh,
He's
that's
getting a
almost like
shot.
professional and silent. They've been switching it up recently too, every season. But Charles,
Right?
no different. Yeah, in the Mercedes this year.
Yeah, Mercedes driver. He's quick. Former champion of TCR. We know Charles can get it done. And then Deathstroke. He and Deathstroke will be teammates. That's, I've had a lot to say the first 4 teams so far. I don't really know what to think of this. I'll be honest with you. This might be where, I don't know. I don't know what to think. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I mean, I think they're a good team. I think they might be on par with, depending on what Red Bull could do. I mean, Charles is obviously quick, and he's going to show up every week and put in good performances. I don't know if he blows everyone out of the water speed-wise, but he's been doing it a little while. So you're not going to just outsmart him, or he's not going to just roll over. He knows what to do, and he could be pretty quick. So I think they're a solid team, and I think they're going to score points. They're not going to be at the back by any means, but it's a tough roster, so we'll see.
Yeah. For the Williams, we got Kluka, And no, that's not me. There's some people in TCR that think that we're the same person. No, that's my brother.
Right.
Kluka, the thing with him, and he knows this. I've talked with him about this. He's got great pace. Seriously, if we're just talking on pace,
qualifying, he's really good.
Yeah, qualifying, he's one of the best qualifiers in TCR.
Yes,
easily, and even raw pace, he's probably top 5. It's just that consistency that it needs to get better, and I think if he can do that, and I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good. I don't want to put anything out there, but I think he's going to have a good season if he shows up every week. And then here's one of our newbies. Alex is here, Dia Jr. I'll call him Alex for now because that's a whole tongue twister right there. That'll be a good lineup. I don't know where Alex's pace is at, but that's another solid lineup to where we don't have as many answers as maybe we could have.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the Red, maybe a little bit possibly better than Red Bull. I think Kluka, we'll see what Alex could do. I feel like he might also be quick. He's one of, I believe, Kluka's guys that he brought in here this season, which is really good. I just want to give a quick thanks to your brother there, little props to getting a few new drivers in to help with the sign-ups, and he kind of vetted them as far as speed, so it should be an addition to the roster. And in the Williams, he's raced in the Williams before, I believe, and it's a good lineup. And
yeah,
we'll see. I think Kluka has great potential, and I think he can, if he just puts the time in practice and just every season get better and better and stick with it. I think he could be up there. This will probably be maybe the season where he mixes it up with the top boys, but there or then, right? Not every single week, but he's going to get valuable experience to where, maybe next game he hits it really running.
Yeah.
So it's all out there in front of him. I really I believe it for him, and I love the new names of Jackson and Alex so far. Like having new drivers who kind of got into the league because of Kluka. It kind of makes me feel like they are quick, and like, hey, this could be like 2 heavy hitters that are getting added, right? So
yeah,
and also for the roster of having the drivers know each other, I think adds to the environment of the season too. If everyone's going to be talking to each other and they know each other, it's funner, right? So hopefully the new guys start to mix it with some of the drivers that have been here for a few seasons, and we can have like a new strike of this season where we got like new energy that will kind of carry us for the next few seasons. But I just love that. That's something I'll be looking forward to see what they could do.
Seafreeze, by any chance, are you a fan of the show Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah, which version though? The TCR version or the
The TCR version, because we got it in the Haas. Beavis and Butthead, welcome back to TCR. This is going to be a fun team right here. Yeah. We got Segrist and Ben Swerven back on the roster.
Do they both have over 100 races? I know Segrist does.
Ben does not.
But he might be close. He's definitely close.
He's got to be close.
He's got to be getting close. It really soon. I mean, and you could find out now because in the Discord of TCR, while you're watching this video, go and join our Discord. We have a bunch of information there about TCR and everything about the podcast. And you could find out all driver stats. So we do have everything updated from up to season 18. So if there's any errors, there's a ticket system. It's all new. It's in the Discord. Check it out. My brief little announcement there. But I just want to give also a shout out to Segrist and Ben because I did a endurance race with them. I did a 6 hours of Daytona, I believe it was. No, 6 hours of Indy. My bad. On iRacing, and we drove. I believe we did the Ferrari, and we each had 2 stints, I believe, hour stint long, and we finished it, and we did quite well. That's probably the last time I really did a competitive league race, or that was a few months ago. I believe in either October or November. So good fun with them, and they're coming back to the F1 side of things. So they bring a lot of experience on iRacing and other forms of racing. They're always going to be teaming, and to see them together is good. That means they're going to be committed too, because they're going to be showing up as if they're teammates. So honestly, they're going to be they're veterans at TCR. I mean, Seeger's got 100 races. Ben is close to it. They're just characters at
Yeah.
times, and sometimes they get into some trouble, but usually they're good additions, and
No, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
it's
You know.
just that extra character to bring to the grid, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. And 100. There's only been a few people in our league that have ever gotten to 100 starts. It's less than 10 people
Yeah.
who have ever gotten to 100 starts. So
And I believe
Yeah,
Professional's another one, and I'm not sure if GT should be another one, and I think B-Tom and Silent are either there or just about.
yeah,
They didn't mention.
GT's there.
Yeah.
Silent, I don't think he's there, but he's got to be close.
Yeah.
And then B Tom, he's got to be close as well. I don't know how he doesn't have 100 yet, but yeah, if you've reached 100 starts, you're definitely someone who's been here and has shown up and competed for wins.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. Next team, this is going to be the one where we have the least amount of answers on, because these are two drivers that we really have. Well, one driver actually, because one of them will not be racing. Brian in the RB will be, as of now, the lone RB driver. Hey, he could be that new driver that shows up and wins the championship.
Yeah, I mean, I believe is he the other guy that Kluka brought in, or maybe it's just a separate sign-up. I'm not sure about him. I know Kluka brought 3 drivers that he said were pretty good.
I don't recognize the name, so I'm honestly not sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, but then again, anytime we have a new driver, it's just exciting. So we'll see what he could do, and who's he going to be up teammates with, right? So we're going to be filling that. Either I believe we have people waiting to get in, so you can still sign up and we get on the waiting list for full time in case anyone leaves, or you can sign up as a reserve, as we have a few reserves as well. So yeah, we'll just see what they do. There's really not much to get into detail with.
Yeah. Last couple teams to go over here. Welcome back, Jose, to the grid. This time in the Ferrari. We know Jose can win, and from what I remember is he's really the one that will go and sneak in a win.
Yeah.
And it's not that he doesn't have the pace, it's just more of the races he wins, he tends to come out of nowhere and end up winning them. So if you're looking for your Kevin Harvick type driver, here you go. Jose is back on the grid.
Yeah.
And then Josh King, I think he's one of the Kluka recruits that is joining us. This team, this will be a solid team. Might not be a constructor winning team, but this will be a solid team.
I'm gonna go the opposite. I think it possibly could be. It could be. It could be the third best team. Yeah, Jose is gonna carry. I mean, I don't know if he'll carry. I don't know how. I'll retract that. I'm not sure how good Josh King is. So Josh King could actually beat Jose, but from what I know, Jose, he usually picks a win or two a season. But the last time we saw him, he was winning in up front a lot more regularly. And he might have been racing. I feel like he's been racing in other leagues possibly, or maybe he did have a little bit of break and he's coming back. I'm not exactly sure. But, anytime he's racing full-time, he's going to be committed. And I think he's going to be more of a contender this year. I think he might be the one to challenge B-Tom if I'm gonna be honest. And if Josh King is quick too, the Ferrari team, and I know Jose likes the Ferrari. I think that's his team that he likes to go to. So he's got the car. He's got a solid new teammate. Jose's got the experience. It's kind of his team, right? You kind of circle Jose. All right, we know him. He's going to bring a win or two. He's going to have backup with Josh King. I think this one is like, all right, we got to keep them on the map because they can make some noise.
100%. This final team, though, honestly, I think this one is just as much on the map as the Ferrari. And this team, it really... There's a couple teams that will be even, right? Silent Professional in the Alpine, I think their pace will be pretty similar. Aston Martin with Mahmoud and TJ, I can see these two having really similar pace and being neck and neck every week because we know TJ's quick. Former champion, TCR, back on the grid. But Mahmoud, man, Mahmoud's solid.
He's also really quick, from what I could tell. I mean,
yeah, he is.
He
is.
I don't believe he's raced with us before. It's his first.
Mahmoud?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, you weren't around last season much, were you?
Oh no, did he? He did.
he was here pretty much.
Season.
Yeah, pretty much all of last season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, you're right. I'm thinking of someone else.
He did miss a few races and still wound up 7th in points. And when I say 7th, I mean he missed out on 6th by 2 points. So he's going to be good. Mahmoud is someone who practices, someone who shows up every week. Well, actually, no, we got predictions coming up, but he might be in my predictions here in a second.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, no, I just mixed up the timeline and stuff. My apologies. But TJ, he's quick. He was really quick when he won that Golden Championship, seasons ago, and he was close in winning the TCR Grand Prix at Bahrain that one year, and it was right there. He was battling Beaton, his teammate, and didn't get that done, and he never won since then. It's kind of the thing that's kind of been haunting him almost. And, he took some time away, coming back. Yeah, he's quick, but, man, he, taking a little bit of time off, it is hard to come back, especially when he hasn't won yet, right? So he's kind of like, he had that snowball effect where he was gaining all this momentum. He had, that pretty much TCR Grand Prix failure, right? It set him back and took some time off. What level pace are we going to get from him, right? I mean, I know he can get back up there if he practices and he can kind of carry that team, but we'll see. I mean, he's always quick. I know he's going to be up there battling with Silent Professional and B-Tom and the rest, and it's just, is he going to get that first win? Is he really going to break through? It's almost like Kluka, almost, where this could be another season where TJ gets some good, valuable experience, and he took some time off, so he's coming back re-energized, right? It could be a nice storytelling season for him.
For sure. So we're going to move into predictions, and I have kind of a format I want to go through, and I want your thoughts on this.
Drivers first?
I was thinking more along the lines of we could go over the standings real quick, but I'm just thinking we do our champions, a sleeper pick, and then a bold prediction.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, and champions would be both drivers and constructors.
All right, we'll do drivers first. So, predictions for Season 19 Drivers Championship.
I'm going to be boring. I'm going to go with B-Tom. And I think it's more of the fact that this could be his 7th championship. And I know he was on the fence about racing this season, but I think that's going to be something he's looking for. Especially with the fact that Remsley's not racing this season. There's going to be some people that give him, a lot of weight Because I think Remsley gave him a lot of weight last season. Those two were neck and neck every week. So who's going to fill in that gap that Remsley is leaving? And I think B-Tom, it makes sense. 7th championship, in honor of his favorite driver, Lewis. It just makes too much sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a strong, crazy out there prediction for drivers' championship, but gonna be honest, we've had B Tom on the grid a lot since he's started racing with us, and he's kind of been our full-time superstar of a driver, and there's only been a few people who it's been proven to beat him on a full season. And there's really only one driver, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And who is that?
That would be B-Tom.
No.
Yeah.
No, you didn't listen.
What's the answer?
No, like, what's the one guy that did beat B-Tom since he's joined this season?
I blanked it. Man,
that's a good short.
I don't know, honestly. Yeah, who was it?
Forzan.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, right? I mean, B-Tom...
Forzan, I'm messing with you. I'm doing this on purpose.
Didn't Forzan race when B-Tom was racing full-time?
Yeah. Well, B-Tom was a reserve, but I still think if they raced the same amount of races, it would have been close. I think Forzan might have gotten him.
Yeah, but...
Because Forzan locked it up. He locked it up pretty quickly.
Even still, I mean... yeah, if you put that into consideration, then there really wouldn't be any one that has really beaten him over the course of the season. But I'm just thinking, like, if anyone's won the championship recently, it's only Forzan. Maybe it wasn't up against him, full time, but other than that, it's always been B-Tom. So
yeah, no, I think B-Tom's lucky that Forzan's not on the grid this season because, like I said, B-Tom missed races that season, but Forzan, I think, would have still won if they had raced the same amount of races. So, yeah, no, I think it's you have to go with the favorite, right? Especially when he's won as much as he has recently. That's just saying it how it is, and I think part of the thing too is the fact that we have a lot of returning drivers who are quick, but they took a hiatus. Silent took a hiatus. Prof took a hiatus. You can't really bet for them when the reigning champion and the guy who's won 4 of the last 5, something like that, is on the grid. So yeah, you have to go with a favorite.
Yeah, and if we're looking at constructors, I think there's 2 questions that there's really only 2 teams that going into the season you can kind of make an argument for statistically based off of what we've seen here before. You could pick other teams based off of possible, if they do this right and this right, they could win it. But the odds are in these 2 teams, in my opinion. It's got to be the team of McLaren and Alpine. So B-Tom and GT, Silent and Professional. GT and Remsley won it because B-Tom didn't really get much help. Yeah, he was right. He was with Moody last season. But Moody only scored 53, which is good, but Remsley and GT were both 2nd and 3rd in the championship, which is kind of what I see Professional and Silent doing, right? I feel like B-Tom's going to be winning and getting the most points, but look, GT has solid there. So I think like Silent or Professional, they might grab around 265. They might have around there, which if that's the case, I could see them maybe beating out B-Tom and GT, because I think over the course of the season, Silent and Professional seem like they could be either 2nd and 3rd on the championship. And based off of last season, that's who won the championship there. is when
Yeah.
Remsley and GT were second and third, and I think Silent and Professional have a good shot at being 2 and 3.
Yeah. I will say real quick, just to wrap this up, we really haven't talked about Lion much this episode so far. And I know with his work schedule, I'm pretty sure he gets home right before the race starts. So that's the thing with me. I know he's quick. I mean, obviously, like I've gotten, yeah, he took a couple of golden class wins away from me. Like he always like gets me, not just even for wins, just like I remember certain battles where like he always finishes ahead of me in certain battles. Like Lions got he's overdue for a win. He finished third a lot last season, second a couple times. Lions going to win some races. I'm telling you, he's going to win a few races.
I don't think he's ever won a race in TCR's top class before.
Yeah, he's very overdue for a win. I'm telling you, he's going to get a few wins.
In Golden, he's a champion in Golden, but he's had podiums in the top class, and I think this season could be the one. I mean,
I agree.
I think he gets it done this season. He has to pick at least one up somewhere. There's a lot of tracks he's pretty good at. Yeah, he'd probably circle. But if I have to make my actual prediction, it's so hard. What's your final decision for constructors, Gaiman?
Well, this is coming from the guy that is notoriously bad at predictions. I got to go McLaren. Okay. I got to go McLaren. You can't, like I said, B-Tom's there. Yes, B-Tom's there. But Lion, I really think he's overdue for wins, and wins get you the points. So if you got the guy with B-Tom that's the favorite for the championship, and you have a guy in Lion who's probably going to finish top 3 in points, yeah, I got to go McLaren.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a good pick because, Professional and Silent, they've kind of struggled the last little while. I mean, when Forzan was winning and Professional came back, he was kind of a favorite, and he didn't do quite well. And then last season, he started the season and then left at some point, so he wasn't that active, right? So I feel like his momentum is a lot bigger and stronger this year, and with him and Silent teaming back up, it could mean pretty well. And I think it's just such a strong pairing. I think I'm gonna probably choose them for the constructors, because if I'm thinking of the pairing that I know they're capable of, I think they can get it done. But it's gonna need great performances, wins and podiums from both. If only one driver does it, it won't be enough, because B-Tom, I think, will be the champion at the end of the year. So you need to cut that deficit.
I agree. So next, the sleeper pick. And really, this is going to highlight one driver that you think is kind of under the radar, and they're going to go up and do really well. Like, compete for maybe wins, championships, like someone that you really think could go up there and do a lot of damage. And I've already got one picked out, and I really don't want to call him a sleeper because he's not statistically in TCR. He's won races, he's won a championship. But I'm telling you, towards the end of last season, and I'm talking like the back half of last season, he slowly became one of the fastest drivers in TCR. I think Charles is going to do a lot of damage.
Really?
I think Charles is going to go and win races, and he could finish up there, maybe not top 3 in points, but I'll go 4th or 5th. And that's saying a lot for who's on the grid. He competed last season for a couple of second place finishes when B-Tom and Remsley were up in their own little world. There were races where he was up there. I think Charles is going to do really, really well. I hope it happens too. I mean, former co-commentator of mine, right? Always want to see him do well. And he's had great luck in Mercedes powered cars. I mean, I know this is a little superstitious, but he won a championship in McLaren, and I just think this is going to be a good year for him.
Nice. I like the pick. Makes sense, and based off of last season, 5th in the championship, had 125. So I mean, if you're getting a buck 25 in a season,
He missed races too. He missed a
yeah,
handful of them.
which shows that he had a nice season. So good pick. I actually agree with that. As far as a driver that's gonna, I mean, I could think of a handful, but mm, I'm gonna probably pick
You can only pick one.
only one. Well, I think if this is Seafreeze picking it, I'm gonna have to pick Jackson
Mm.
because I love the smack talking. I love talking a big game before even seeing you. Just rise your stock up, right? Rise it up and see. And to be
Yeah.
honest, I have to do a little bit more digging on him because I don't really know his pace at all. So that's just kind of a blind guess and just kind of I'm just kind of riding the hype train because that's all I know of him.
Yeah.
And I just love the way he entered the Discord, and to me, I can respect that, and I hope he has a great season. And honestly, if he's really quick and he has a game, and he's playing a game in chat, that could play some mind games on some drivers. And hey, if you're quick and you can get into the heads of the other competitors, I like that. That was Seafreeze's game back in the day, so I fully respect it. So I think Jackson will make some noise in his debut season.
We'll have a handful of drivers that make some noise in the Discord, maybe in interviews. Just from what we've seen from this roster, there's going to be a lot of that. And quite frankly, we kind of need that. I think we're overdue for that. So, the final part of predictions is the bold prediction. And this is kind of this is more general. This doesn't have to be driver based. It could be, but just something that's going to happen this season that a lot of people don't see coming. And I've already got mine picked out. We talked about the roster. We talked about returning drivers, drivers who are quick, drivers who could surprise. And really, there's a lot of potential for different winners. And in this 12 race season, I think we will have 6 different drivers that get to the top step of the podium.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good
And I'm
prediction.
serious. I'm not pulling a Skip Bayless. Like, I'm actually serious about this.
Nice. If I had to pick a bold prediction, what would it be?
You can only have one bold prediction.
That is the question. I'm gonna give you one. I just have to think of one. Is the thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
I'll get the Jeopardy theme music.
Yeah, you should. I'm gonna need it.
Could be drivers, could be tracks, could be standings, could be instructors, could be commentary, could be fights.
You really stumped me on this one, to be honest.
Oh, did I throw too many things at you right now?
I'm honestly not sure. I'd say, I mean, I know you're gonna. I mean, it's kind of what you said. I mean, it kind of goes along in the lines of what you said. 6 new winners. I think there's gonna be, or 6 different winners. I think there's gonna be like probably at least 3 new winners in TCR.
That's a good one.
But that it kind of goes along the lines of what you're saying. We're gonna get 6 different drivers that win a race. I think at least
I don't know though, like if there's going to be many new winners though. That's part of my theory is
Well,
it's
I
going to be a
think,
lot of
look,
repeat winners.
Well, GT would be one.
Oh, well, if you're talking like
Yeah,
the
I
top
mean,
tier TCR.
no,
Okay,
no,
well
I'm
then yeah,
saying
that makes
league wide.
sense.
Yeah, I mean this is for the F1
I'm
series,
talking
right?
league wide. I'm talking league
No,
wide.
this is the top. This is the top roster, right? Anything you did in lower classes, is obviously to everyone's resume, but it's not the same as comparison of what, let's say, B-Tom's done. Anything B-Tom's done has been at the top. So I want to see numbers like that in this series, right? Silver, golden, challenger, those stats go to the resume, but they don't get compared to what we're comparing B-Tom to, right? So I think GT could grab a win. I mean, if you're saying Charles can grab a win, that'd be him. That'd be, a second new winner there. J&B hasn't won in the top series. Jackson, we're saying, is quick. TJ hasn't won. We don't know what Alex or Josh King could do. Boom. There's a lot of people right there that could win. Right? Because the only winners in this series is Jose, Professional, Silent, and B-Tom. There's only
that's
four,
crazy.
Like, we're bringing a lot of experience to the grid, but a lot of it comes from the lower series that we've had in previous seasons. J&B and Speedy and Silver, Klukas, Seegers, Ben, TJ, and GT. A lot of their numbers, and Sir Charles, a lot of their numbers come from Golden, right? And with the mixture of new drivers, there's only, what I say, 4?
Yeah, 4 repeat top-tier
I think
TCR winners.
I think all 4 are going to win a race. And I think I think Jose, Silent, Professional, B-Tom, they're all going to win a race. So I think the 6 different winners, I think, is almost low. Because I think we're going to have maybe...
In 12 races?
We might have 7 different winners.
Really?
I mean...
I don't know. I mean, you gotta think there's going to be a couple guys that win a lot of races.
Yeah,
that's my thing. I think there's gonna be a lot of people that win one race.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, B-Tom could go and win a couple in the first, but then again, it's easy to, things happen. People don't show up. How the strategy. I mean, they all have the pace too to win, right? So it's not like we need a lot to go wrong. It's like, no, they're going to be in the front of the train. The train is going to consist of like B-Tom, GT, Silent, Professional, J&B, Jackson, Charles. I mean, everyone's going to be in the same DRS train. So it only takes a couple collisions and a couple this penalties. Yeah. Boom, you have a different winner. So I might even up you and say we're going to have those 4 drivers that won. They're going to repeat. Plus 3 difference. I think we'll have 7 different winners.
Wow. Well, there goes my bold prediction, I guess. Seafreeze just one-upped me. Yeah. Quite literally, yeah.
But other than that, I don't see any other thing that'll come to mind.
Yeah, I will say one more thing, and this is kind of just what to expect from the races. Remember, we do have a full grid, so there's a lot more room for the dreaded safety cars. And I think we will get a lot of them this season. Maybe not. I mean, not as much as we've seen in the past, just because prior games were more sensitive to the safety cars. But I think just about every race you should expect at least one.
I agree. I mean, I don't know if you'll get it every single race because I mean it's a good quality grid, but so some tracks you might not see it at, like a Bahrain. But then again, Bahrain. You do see him. But
yeah, true.
We could see it. All right. So I think that's going to conclude the predictions and season 19 talk, unless there's any other things we want to mention before we have a quick little mini game to end off the episode.
I think we should play a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, we'll be starting January 21st. It's a Tuesday, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be next Tuesday. It'll be Camden and myself, Seafreeze, bringing you guys the call. So hopefully we have a great first round at Brazil, and we can share that out and get as many live viewers as possible. We'll be on YouTube and Twitch live.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be good. I'm telling you. You guys want to tune in. I say that every year, but I'm serious this time.
Kim, why don't you kind of explain the minigame and kind of what we're attempting here, while I figure out my stuff here.
Sure. So today's game of the day will be 20 words or less, Formula One edition. So we will take turns doing this. We have to list off certain F1 terms in 20 words or less. So each of us will put out 7 terms, all right? And those 7 terms need to combine for 20 words or less between all 7 of those terms, okay? The thing is, though, you need the other person to guess what you're referring to, okay? So if they get it wrong, this is like charades. If they get it wrong, you have to say other words to get them to get the answer right.
Yeah.
So that they know what you're talking about. So the goal here is to get everything under 20 words or less at the end of your turn.
Yeah, and then as low as possible as well to see who can get it done and lower.
Yeah. So you want the other person to get it right.
Kind
to get the terms right.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. And as far as, and then we just would count it. So I'm gonna keep track of mine, Camden. So, write down the words that you say. This way we can keep track of the numbers.
Yeah.
And now if someone gets it wrong, you can just re-guess, like a couple times. You know, not like 10 different times, but until you need another word to get more of a hint. So
yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So who wants to go
All right.
first?
I'll put my words out first.
Okay.
First up, narrow.
Monaco.
Correct.
Wow. So one word. Okay.
1 for 1 so far. Ferrari bridesmaid.
That's 2 words.
2 words.
Lewis Hamilton.
No. Ferrari bridesmaid.
Carlos Sainz. Bridesmaid.
No.
That's a bride.
I gotta say different words. Yeah, I shouldn't have repeated.
Charles Leclerc.
Schumacher teammate.
Massa.
No.
Was he ever teammates with Massa? That'd be embarrassing. I don't know. I didn't watch Schumacher. Barrichello.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know
Rubens.
what driver you were going for. I didn't know.
Okay. Yeah. So
What
we're
was
up
that other one?
to.
So 3 words. You did Ferrari.
So we're up to 5 because I added in Schumacher teammate.
Oh, okay.
I gave you because we're supposed to change up the words if you get it wrong.
Yeah.
So we're up to 5. All right. Third term.
Okay.
Fast car.
McLaren.
No.
Red Bull.
Yes.
Okay.
Slow car.
Oh gosh. Sauber.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We're at 9 words. We have 3 more terminology to go.
Okay.
Right? 4-time champion.
Could be one of a few.
Which one do you choose?
I'm gonna say. It's so tricky. It's so dumb. All right. Let's go with Vettel.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I wasn't going to say Max Verstappen. That would have been mean. Not go with Vettel on that one. All right, 12 words now. Only 8 words to go.
Okay.
Straightaways.
Straightaways. Let's do Monza.
Correct.
Okay. Good. Good.
Good guess. 13. Okay, so we have 7 words to go with one more. All right.
Oh, we got this.
Rigged. Rigged.
2021 finale.
Yep. There we go. Seafreeze did it in 14 words.
Nice.
Pretty good, honestly. Pretty good.
That was, I mean, those were kind of easy words, I felt. But, I mean, the words you put out, I mean, I knew exactly what you were saying. I think my words are a lot harder.
You struggle with the Ferrari bridesmaid one.
Yeah,
That doesn't surprise me.
That
but...
one ran me up a little bit. Although the Vettel one, that was a good 50-50. It was like either Verstappen or Vettel.
Exactly.
Okay, so here are my words. I'm going to start with, let's see what I should give you. Constructors.
McLaren.
Correct.
Okay, good. Whew.
Let's do, all right. Next one, tires.
Tires?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. What the hell do you mean by tires? Soft.
No. Any other guesses?
What does he mean by tires? Well, I don't know. You might have to go with a different word here.
Brand.
Oh, Pirelli.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Next up, wing flap.
You're going mechanical on me, aren't you?
Yep.
Wing flap. DRS.
Bingo, got it.
All right, good.
So that's
Whew.
five words so far. Next one, angel.
Angel?
Come on, you got it.
Angel. What
Think
the
of
hell do you mean
angel.
by... I'm thinking of something. I don't want to say it, though.
Well, I can't tell you anymore. I mean, you either gets it wrong.
To be
right?
fair, if I ask for words, that's not good for me. So, where are we at? We're at 5 words?
We're at, right now, this is the 6. We're at 6.
6 words? Give me another word. Give me another word.
Protection.
Oh, Halo.
Bingo, got
I
it.
like where you went there.
Yeah, that was cool. Number 5, I'm going to go with oval.
Monza.
No, not Monza.
There's a Monza oval.
There is a Monza oval, but that's not the
Oval?
oval I'm thinking of.
Whoa, what oval are you thinking of?
Do you need another?
To be fair, I mean, yeah, I mean, well, what are we at right now?
We're at
8?
8. This is
8 words with, after this, 2?
2 more. Yep.
2 more?
Oval.
What do I do here? Give me another word.
Blue.
Blue oval. Ford?
There we go.
Blue.
Ford.
Ford?
Yeah, they're gonna come into the sport and another year.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that shows how much I've been keeping up. No, I knew that.
Okay. Let's do gambling.
Strategy.
No.
Gambling? Oh! Viva Las Vegas!
Yeah, there we go.
Sweet.
There we go. All right, we got one more word left, and we had let's see how many words we've used before already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we used 10 words. So you're doing pretty good. Last one. Wreck.
Romain Grosjean.
No. Yeah, I might have to give you another word. That's a tricky word.
Wreck. Wreck. Yeah, give me another word.
All right, let's go with barricade.
Barricade. Wreck. Barricade.
This is hard. You got to think of what these would be.
A wreck and a barricade. I hope you're not doing something dark.
No, but
Okay. 'Cause that's where my mind was going there for a second. I'm like, is he bringing up a fatal crash? A wreck.
the word?
Barricade. We're at 11 words?
Yep.
Yeah, give me another one.
Marshall.
Wreck. Barricade. Marshall. Safety car.
No, not safety car.
Wreck. Hold on. Wreck. Barricade. So you wreck into a barricade and there's a Marshall. Tow truck? No, that's not. That's not. No, don't discard that. No. What the hell are you talking about? Tire barrier?
No.
What?
You need another
Wreck?
word?
A car crashing into a barricade and then hitting a Marshall in the process. Hold on. Wreck.
Yeah, if all of that happened,
I feel like
that happened, then what would happen?
Someone's getting sued.
No, if all of that happened, what would happen? If everything you just said came true,
If a
what
wreck
would happen?
Death. That's it, right?
Do you need another? No. Do you need?
I'm
another
right.
word?
That's what would happen.
No.
Dear
That's
God,
not
good thing
what would
I still got a
happen.
couple more words to spare.
Yeah, you got
Let's
a couple
give another word.
Wave.
Wave. Okay, we wreck into a barrier and hit a track marshal, and someone waves.
Who waves? Who?
Wave?
No, who waves?
Who wave? The driver.
No.
The crowd? If a track marshal gets hit,
No.
no one should be doing the wave. That's horrible.
Kevin, you're cracked up. That's crazy. No.
I have dementia, man.
I know what you're trying to get at, but it's like that's funny. Oh man, do you need another word? I'm running out of words.
Yes.
Color.
Wreck, barricade, color. Did you say color?
Color, yes.
Yellow.
No, not yellow.
I mean, you're describing a safety car. Red flag.
Red flag. There we go. We finally got it.
I think if a track marshal gets hit and killed, I think that's the end of the race. I don't think they'll give a red flag.
No one said Marshall was getting ran over. You did. I gave you good words. It's just maybe a
Wreck, barricade. Okay, I mean that's yeah. No, that wasn't easy though. I don't think.
No, it wasn't. It was a hard word.
Yeah.
I could have went a different route, but all in all, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I think I lost.
14, 15.
Yeah, I just lost. Man,
Camden.
choke of the century right here,
Wow.
and we're only 2 weeks into the new year. Look at that.
Oh wow, that was
Man,
fun.
that's going to be good material for the shorts, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm going to get lit up in the comment section for once.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not just gonna be me, Camden. It's also
I
gonna
know.
be you.
It's going to be me for once, all right? Even
Although,
though I'm
you
the
know
one
what, to be
that
fair-
I'm the one that edits the shorts and throws you under the bus. Finally, it's my turn to.
You'll have fun editing. You know, to be fair, you did say you were a little under the weather, so hopefully.
All right,
you know,
yeah, that's my
feel
excuse.
good.
You know, that was my flu game.
Yeah.
We'll be back and better than ever for next time.
For round 1, exactly.
Round 1.
And go over, when is that again?
What?
Round number 1.
January 21st, 8:45.
Yeah, right. And where can our viewers find that?
We can find that on YouTube and Twitch. The YouTube is Trinity Competitive Racing. The Twitch is Trinity Racing. And on the YouTube side of things, you can find shorts. You can find the podcast. That's probably where you're listening to it at. There are other platforms you can find this podcast at, which are on what, C3s?
They're going to be on Apple Podcast and Spotify, as well as on YouTube. So there's all of that there. If you're coming here from the shorts or the podcast, or if you're already in TCR, share it out. Let's get more drivers and members into the Discord. That's where we have all of our information. We're looking to start other series as well. Obviously, our main focus is on F1, but we want to get other things going as well. So any help in that direction would be great. But yeah, other than that, a good episode to be back, Camden. So thank you for all of that. And we will see everyone back here for round number 1 at Brazil next week on Tuesday, January 21st. From Camden to myself, C. Freeze. So long, and we'll do it again in 1 week's time. Have a good night, everybody.